Hello everyone, this is Tony DiLorenzo back with another video on nutrition as a follow-up to the optimal nutrition video I did last month. As you recall, I presented the scientific explanation for the obesity and diabetes epidemic and elaborated on the many benefits of the whole food plant-based diet. I started thinking that since people are at home trying to make the most of each shopping excursion, you would benefit from additional information regarding the Daily Dozen. The Daily Dozen is the nutrition checklist developed by Dr. Michael Greger, which you can find on his website called nutritionfacts.org. His work is scientifically based and not corporately biased. The Daily Dozen is a very basic guideline for complete nutrition. It is a recommendation that ensures that you get all the nutrients you need, and it is proven to reverse chronic diseases, including obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, decrease the risk of stroke and heart attack. Remember, the standard American diet we are currently buying is extremely low in nutrition, but it is high in calories, fat, sugar, salt, and cancer-causing ingredients like red meat, processed meats. We have definitively linked cancer to red meat and processed meats. A high-fat diet has been linked to breast cancer, and there is growing evidence that cancer tumors grow better when we eat a high sugar diet. So, although the list of the Daily Dozen is not hard to memorize, it is hard to visualize. And so I set out to demonstrate what is really in a day's supply of the Daily Dozen foods. I have had patients wonder, how can I get full on a bunch of nuts, fruits, and vegetables? And they get concerned about not having enough to eat, and they fear that the menu variety will be too limited and the foods will not be tasty. But here's what it looks like to put this food out and what it means to eat healthy and completely nutritious diet that adds up to about 11 to 1,300 calories per day. Think about all this food adding up to 1,200 calories. That is a lot of volume and a lot of variety. But here is how most Americans get 1,400 calories. And a lot of us might eat 2 of these meals a day. So this is a great list of 1,500 calories from all of the fast food restaurants you can think of. Think about how you would snarf one of those meals down and then a couple hours later be thinking, what am I going to have next? When you've actually eaten more than is required for your entire day. When we take in all those calories, plus the high fat, the high salt, and the high sugar, we store that fat and that traps our hormones and deprives us of our strength, our energy, our libido, and the brain chemicals that we need to naturally prevent depression. So the first thing I did was lay out all the dishes that would be necessary to contain one day's worth of food. Then I started going through the list and filling up these portion sizes one by one. Let's start with beverages. Dr. Greger recommends 5 12-ounce servings per day. That is 60 ounces or a little less than 2 quarts. This may need to be adjusted up if you are working out a lot and are doing some sweating, or adjusted down if you have ankle swelling or shortness of breath associated with the heart condition. Also, coffee has been shown to be helpful for brain function, and green tea can prevent cancer. I would recommend avoid sugared beverages because most of them contain 7 to 9 teaspoons of sugar for every 12 ounces. Next, let's talk about beans. There are a great variety of beans, and they provide a host of micronutrients, carbs, protein, and fiber, and they help us feel satisfied and full. There is a recent study that showed that adding even 1 serving of beans per day can result in weight loss in just a few weeks. The Daily Dozen provides for 3 servings per day, and that would include 1 cup of fresh peas or sprouted lentils, a 1/4 cup of hummus, or a 1/2 cup of cooked beans, split peas, lentils, tofu, or tempeh. On to berries and fruit. Note that berries are so nutritious that they get their own category in a list of 12 food items. So 4 fruit servings are recommended every day, with one of them being berries. For the berries, 1/2 cup fresh or frozen, or a 1/4 cup dried. For the other fruit, you want a medium piece or 1 cup cut up or a 1/4 cup dried. Here we have 1 tablespoon of flaxseed. It gets its own category because it's so healthy. Next, we have a 1/4 cup of nuts, which is a handful. I want to emphasize in these 2 categories that flax seeds, first of all, provide a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. They help with bowel movements, they help with gut flora. 1 tablespoon every day can make a huge difference in your overall health. We also do not get enough nuts in our diet. Nuts are packed with nutrients and are a great source of energy and protein. Remember that the serving size for nuts is a handful because a cup of nuts is 450 calories. So we can't be snacking on nuts all day long. A handful once or twice a day, especially if you're burning a lot of calories. Nuts are a superfood packed with nutrients. Moving on, we can now talk about spices. Spices are added to foods to provide flavor as well as nutrition. Oregano has antibacterial effects. Ginger soothes the stomach. Cinnamon helps with diabetes. And black pepper and turmeric together have been shown to help with inflammation. So the list goes on and on. If you download the app for the Daily Dozen and then look under the spices section, there's a wealth of information on how to incorporate these vital nutrients into our everyday foods. So for the greens, we can have green beans. You can have mixed vegetables like this with carrots and broccoli and cauliflower and some squash. There's also mushrooms and onions, which you would not eat raw. I would cook those, saute those. It's absolutely delicious with some garlic and olive oil. And same for 2 servings of greens. So 2 servings of greens, just change it up. The bigger the variety, the better. For the grains, you can have a cup of pasta cooked. This is a 1/2 cup of whole grain steel cut oats, and then 1 slice of a multi-grain bread. We use the Costco, 8-grain bread, but it's 150 calories a slice. This is about 140 calories of oatmeal, and this is about 150 calories of pasta. Now, when you look at eating all of these foods in one day, so you have the 3 servings of grains, the 5 servings of vegetables, the 4 pieces of fruit, the handful of nuts, a tablespoon of flax, and then 3 servings of beans, and 5 servings of liquids. If we ate all of that every day before we were to indulge in ice cream or fries or donuts, this would be a diet that could reverse disease. Not just treat it, but reverse it. It's the only known thing that can. So this is the Daily Dozen, and I hope that this demonstration is helpful.